and he leads this unit, looking to continue its success defensively. They've been very strong this year, 34 goals allowed after a league low last season in the category, tied for 9th in the league in terms of their stinginess. Facing a Minnesota United team that has scored the second fewest goals in the league this season. But Darius Randall up top, keep an eye on him. He just signed a second team contract earlier this month, and Francesco Montali gets the start as the team's goalkeeper for a team that has started a boatload of players at goalkeeper. We'll talk about that as well here this evening. But we're ready to go here tonight from Austin, Texas for this matchup between Austin and Minnesota United. It's great to have you with us for this contest. So it'll be Minnesota out in the blue kits here this evening. It's the black for Austin this evening. And the final of our triple header here tonight. Earlier tonight, it was NYC taking out Orlando 5-2, and then Carolina continues its success 4-1 against Atlanta United. And don't look now in the East. The Core are making their push for the postseason, getting a lot of those home games at this time of the year. Fascinating matchup tonight between these two groups. Minnesota has given up the most goals in the league this season. Austin has scored the 4th fewest in the league. The whistle blows and we're underway here this evening. Minnesota and Austin clashing in MLS Next Pro on a Wednesday evening here in the Lone Star State. We're in the bottom 5 in the league in terms of goal scoring this season. Long ball sent down the field. Adebayo Smith holds on to it. Adebayo Smith taps it up top. There's nobody making that run. And Bonachera sends it away. Excellent maneuverability there, Bonachera. Here's Flandre, scored in 3 straight matches, including a brace last week against Rapids 2, and it turned out to be a really exciting matchup last week. And Austin has certainly been in for some drama here of late. Last week they trailed 1-0, seized a 2-0 lead in the opening half hour. Montali able to keep the ball in play. And then 2 rapid second half goals, including an 87th minute Marlon Vargas penalty, gave Colorado a 3-2 lead, but then it was Sebastian Pino. Here's a long shot that Montali knocks down. Pino scored in the 90th and then the 90+3 to win it for Austin and keep their charge up the table intact. Well, really, when you look up and down the Western Conference, so many teams have surged at this point in the season to get to this point where they're in the conversation for a postseason spot. Alstrip catches this ball off of a skip. Vancouver, 20 points, most of any team in the West. They've risen to a tie for 5th with Tacoma, who's 19 points since June 7th. And then there's Austin and a couple other sides that are above them with 18 points in that duration. Every point valuable, specifically for Austin and really everybody in the West, because if you go to a shootout, it could end up costing you if you cannot win that shootout. With how tight things are, that 1-point swing will be critical for teams down the stretch of the year. Minnesota on the other side, spoke with Jeremy Hall earlier this afternoon, sitting in a spot where he never expected to be. He said that winning's a part of development. He's going to go to his grave thinking just that. But at the same time, having had conversations with several coaches at the first team level and front office staff as well, you have to understand what's going on in MLS Next Pro. What does success look like for the group? And seeing those players get chances to train with the first team and hearing the compliments is very valuable. Torres out of play. It's out for a goal kick. And there's players that signed their first team contracts, and it just happened 5 days ago. Mensavi signing a first team deal through December of 2025 with club options for the 2 years following that. And congratulations to him. When he first came to the United States, he said he was inspired by the stadium and the fans. And an opportunity for him to excel at the next stage. 3 goals this season for the 20-year-old from Togo, signing that first team deal just 5 days ago, and that's what Jeremy Hall was talking about. Those are the moments that breed success within your group. Bonachera slams the brakes on. Ramirez whips it wide. High arcing, bending ball in. Fodry scores! Uses his head from 6 yards out. It's a delightful cross from Alonso Ramirez. Austin hits the net first. It's 1-0. Look at this. From a long way out. Ramirez's second assist of the year. And gets the right twist on this ball. And Fodry wins the header, and he scores for a 4th consecutive match. And the worst goal differential in the league, -28. -12 more than New England. Here's Randall. Randall pokes this around. Darius Randall equalizes. It's a delightful pass from Minnesota. And the 17-year-old from Liberia ties it up at 1 apiece. For an offside flag. It never comes. And that touch past Alstrup leads to an empty net, and Randall scores. Rain more than a couple drip drops here and there. This ball bounces in. It's well tamed, and then Burton sends it over the top. And again, those long passes giving Minnesota a little bit of trouble here. Really well-weighted ball from Bonachera. And then Burton high on that ball. For the first half. And it's 1 apiece. Fodry scoring for a 4th consecutive match. Opens it. Half. Minnesota has not won a regulation matchup since July 26th. Austin is unbeaten in its last 5, and we're underway here in the second half. Tries to line it up. Instead, glides it back. Gomez swings it in. No issues for Bacharach. Ramirez right back out. It is Fodry. Fodry spins this ball low and in. Comfortably handled by Finn McRobb. Last year's Big South Defensive Player of the Year at High Point. This is around the time of the year where you start to see those academy players take that next stage. And it's always fun watching these matches because you get a sense of the evolution of the sport and the game when you have players that are in their teens, their really strong developmental years. As a person and a player playing against men that are in their 20s. Here's Fodry. Fodry lines this up, and it rings the bar. Fodry is just flourishing right now. So dangerous in space. And he shocked Montali there. And you do have players like Fodry that are kind of in that hybrid area. And this portion of the year is a little bit of a internal, from an organizational perspective, tug of war, because there is that element that you want to win matches. There is that element that you want to continue to. And since winning the 2022 MLS Next Pro Cup, 5 players have now won the MLS Cup and the Leagues Cup. That's Russell Rowe, Farsi, Zawadzki, Max Arfston, and Patrick Schulte that have all won the Next Pro Cup, the MLS Cup, and the Leagues Cup. And truly wonderful to see that, and it's only going to continue to grow. And then you also look at the Vancouver and Toronto matchup that will happen in the Canadian Championship final. And several of those players have featured heavily as well in Canada. Here's this whipping ball in, back post. Faudree wins the opening header. Hobbled by Randall, gives it right back. Faudree chases this one, heads it across, dangerous area, and it's finished. This time it's Sal Mazzaferro giving Austin the lead back here in the 56th minute. His first goal in nearly a calendar year puts Austin in front 2-1. Well, Faudree again in the right place. His 3rd assist of the season. Look at this header. And just mismarked in the end. And Mazzaferro finishes. Had only 1 goal in college in 56 appearances. Here's Pino. Bounce right back to his direction. But it is very tight, and guess who's right there? Minnesota's a point off the pace as well. And things will be extremely interesting in the West to see how things pan out at the end. Portland just holding on to the 7th spot above Houston as it sits. And an update from the Open Cup. It's scoreless right now between Seattle and LAFC. Just 3 shots so far in that match. Martinez intervenes, maintains his balance. Minnesota needs something. It has been a long time since they last attempted a shot. They haven't recorded one here in the second half, and that pass is errant. It's taken away, and Pino pounces. Baruhanga runs. Baruhanga shoots this ball into the chest of Montali. Now the question is, can they slam this thing shut? Baruhanga. Baruhanga tosses it through the middle, and on the redirect, Faudree chasing and unable to put it on target yet again. The hustle of Bacharach. Britton Fisher was in there as well. On that secondary run, look at Baruhanga. Has his sights in the middle of the park, and it is that slide tackle in the end from Britton Fisher that saves the day. Menacing runs and a giveaway here. Faudree chips it in, headed back across. Pino on the volley, unable to knock it down. Pino wants a foul. There will not be one given. Bacharach. Martinez lifts off from distance. It's punched away. Randall slides by. Randall just wide left. There's the final whistle. Make it 6 in a row unbeaten at home for Austin. And an excellent performance here tonight